Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. Today we take up verses 12 through 17 of Psalm 73. Again, as always, fresh and organic, free trade Bible study. Come on in here. We like to call this the Bible Bistro. Sit down and have a cup of something warm or cold, whatever you like, and let's have a little 5-minute Bible study. However, I've been going over here of late, and I apologize for that. I make a promise of 5-minute Bible study, and then I give you 7-minute Bible study, which is not a part of the plan, but sometimes I just get carried away. Or I say too much at the beginning of my podcast and don't have enough time to finish the psalm. Let me read for you verses 12 through 17. This is Psalm 73, 12 through 17. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain, and washed my hands in innocency. For all the day long have I been plagued, and chastened every morning. If I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me, until I went into the sanctuary of God, then understood I their end. He's been talking about his problem. I was envious. We talked about that, how envy and strife, they bring nothing good to life. That's the seat of everything, of confusion and every evil work. So he's envious. What is he envious of? Well, he sees these people and they're prospering. And they're prospering to such an extent it almost seems supernatural. But then he notices their heart condition. And it's not supernatural at all, because they are impoverished spiritually, even at the same time as they are prosperous physically and financially. So he doesn't understand why this is happening. And that statement at the very beginning still rings hollow in his ears, because that statement was, but truly God is good to Israel. Okay, well, if God is good to Israel, then why is this happening? He's questioning. His feet are slipping off of that firm foundation, that truth statement, God is good. Now today in verse 12, we come to the conclusion of this section. They've been prosperous. We understand their heart condition. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Okay, that we get that. So this is a nice, he puts a bow on it for us here. It's a very nice conclusion. Verse 13, verily have I cleansed my heart in vain. Now remember what he said back in verse 1? But truly God is good to Israel, even as such as of our clean heart. Okay, now he says, I've cleansed my heart in vain. I did this, it was emptiness. Me trying to be right with God is emptiness when all this prosperity is going on and these people aren't right with God. I've washed my hands in innocency, he says. That is, he says, I've been thinking all this time that I should be righteous and follow the way of the Lord, and yet that's just been childish. Why should I have even thought that? For all the day long I've been plagued. And then he go back to, what verse was it where he talked about they're not plagued like other men? Yeah, verse 5. Neither are they plagued like other men. It's interesting that he uses that language here, isn't it? But he does. He uses that language, and it gives us some insight into Asaph's mind here. He says, I've been plagued every day. They're not plagued at all, but I am. And here I am trying to cleanse my heart. Here I am trying to wash my hands. I should offend against, and if I speak this, behold, I would offend against the generation of thy children. So he says, I'm between a rock and a hard place. I'm finding that it's foolish for me to try to cleanse my heart and wash my hands and follow the way of the Lord. And if I say anything about that, then I'm offending those people that are around me. What am I supposed to do? Well, then he goes to his heart. He says, when I thought to know this. So he's trying to think about it. He doesn't want to say anything, but he's thinking about it. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. So he couldn't even address it to himself. He couldn't speak it to his brethren. He couldn't speak of it to himself. It was just too painful. He is in a horrible situation. And I dare say that we've been there too. Why do bad things happen to good people? I'm
plagued every day. He says, but yet these people aren't. Why is this happening? This is the effect that this kind of envy has on the psalmist. This is where that confusion comes in and finds rest and nests in our heart. It's just too much. I can't say it to myself. I can't say it to anybody else. I see it happening in the world. I know I must be wrong to try to follow the Lord. And then, verse 17, until I went into the sanctuary of God, then I understood their end. All right, so the remedy begins right here. And now the psalmist is going to begin to take his eyes off of the wicked and begin to set them on the Lord. And when he does, envy flees and something comes to replace that. We'll check that out tomorrow beginning in verse 18. I hope you'll join me then on Daily Dose Radio.
Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.